over in the blink of an eye, or a golden blink, as I heard today. And it was Jake Humphrey on his social media that I heard talking about the golden blink, which I'll get into in a second. But it made me think about the mess that kids create, and when I feel at my most frustrated is, again, like from co-parenting angle, can't control what they do for half of the week, and my expectations versus my ex's expectations are different. I'm not saying one's right or one's wrong, but I certainly find myself getting frustrated with a lack of appreciation for things. Easter eggs, I guess, springs to mind at the moment. Bought them. My girlfriend bought them 2 Easter eggs. I bought them an Easter egg to share. They've been banging on about, and it's just like, okay, yes, they did say thank you, but it's such a, I don't know, an expectation that people will get them Easter eggs. I'll get them an Easter egg, and they end up with a huge collection. And I may have been the same as a kid, I don't know, but that lack of appreciation for things definitely frustrates me. And messy rooms, like, I'm not the tidiest person in the room in the world, but I do have standards and expectations, and my house is tidy-ish. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably 7, 8 maybe at a push. My dad would probably disagree. He's like 10 and a half at his level, OCD, picking up fluff off the floor for 3 hours a day. So mess, leaving things out frustrates me when they might, try and encourage them to make their own breakfasts and lunches, and they just leave things out, which I know won't be uncommon for parents that are reading or listening to this. So that is, I get wrapped up in it. I get cross, and I'm a calm person. I don't really ever shout at my kids, although they probably disagree. I do raise my voice at times when it's needed, and they think I'm strict, and maybe I am, but I definitely get frustrated, and sometimes, I don't know, like, you get so wrapped up in life and work and business and how things should be and should look, and I'm certainly one for that. And then something you hear or something you listen to makes you take a pause. And a friend of mine's daughter has leukemia, and the outlook is pretty bleak, and it stops you in your tracks. And love watching Great British Bake Off, and it's a celebrity version at the moment, and whilst I prefer the non-celeb version, the celeb version can be great and funny. And then they play the video clip of people who cancer has impacted their lives, and a young family were on there recently, and just broke my heart, made me cry. Obviously close to my heart with leukemia impacting me, and not me personally, but taking the life of my best friend. And those moments make you pause, definitely. And then I listened to the Jake Humphrey thing, and he was talking about a blink of an eye, the golden blink, and what things I'll miss in like 5 to 10 years. And if someone was to come to the door and say to my girls, what's made your childhood special? What's your dad like? How is he from day to day? And it just makes you think, oh, what would they say? And it's important to have a balance of fun dad versus making sure that they become good human beings, and not going too far on either end of the spectrum. But the time that I'm living in at the moment, with Izzy being 12, Layla being 9, they are at that golden blink. Layla will still hold my hand on the way into school, which I love. Izzy probably stopped by her age, I think. So I still have that need for human connection with a physical human connection with Layla, that she still wants that, which is lovely, but that will be gone soon. Izzy, I'll get the odd hug from her, but it's not forthcoming. And so I'm well in the mix of that golden blink where I love them to bits, I love them dearly. They give me so much joy, and watching them grow, I'm so proud of both of them. Izzy is an incredibly self-aware, compassionate, empathetic person. She's amazing. Layla is wacky, she's funny, she's creative, she's a good dancer, she's hard work at times. But yeah, it just made me stop and think, I'm in one of the best moments at this point in time for parenting, and I have to keep that balance. Like, I love my businesses and I love growing them, and I adore what it gives me. It fires me up. The girls fill me up, fill my cup with happiness, enjoyment, and I want to eke out every moment with them. I always want to do stuff at the weekend. I always want to try and make the most of my time with them. And my businesses fire me up. They're what kind of get me up in the morning and want to go at the day and achieve the things that I want to achieve in my business career. And it's, for me, it's always been super important to keep that balance intact and not tip the scales too far one way or the other. I suppose I don't mean not, I can't tip the scales, unfortunately, too far with the girls because I only have them 50% of the time. So I want to maximize that time with them. Like I said, enjoyment, doing things, experiences, all of that. With my businesses, I now have more time to grow them, to do the strategic thinking, and I love that as well. And the balance is incredibly important to me. And I hope that I've got that right. Maybe it's a question I need to ask the girls. Have I, like, in their eyes, have I got that balance right? Am I present enough? I sometimes hate myself for the, not hate myself strong, but maybe accurate, for the amount of time I spent on, like, for instance, today, less going on with work in the business. So I just find myself scrolling pointlessly. And that stresses me out. And I think, well, I should be more present with the girls. And I hope that they think that of me, that I am there enough for them. And maybe I need to ask that question and tip the scales one way or the other if that isn't the case. And I think what I see most parents getting wrong with that balance and with parenting, and what I get wrong, is not being present and not loving your time with your kids, because it is a short window. Don't get me wrong, I hope that they live long, happy and successful lives, and I get to witness and be a part of it for many years to come. But you don't know what's around the corner, like my friend is experiencing at the moment, and my heart goes out to him and his family. And we don't know what's around the corner, and even if the girls do live long, healthy lives, it's still a really short window until they move out of home and have partners and move on with their lives and don't need me, which is fine. I'm not a needy parent, although it might sound like I am from this. But why can't we be more present? Like, my mum and dad were so present with me growing up on holidays and just spending time. I wasn't spoilt with things, but certainly was with love and affection and time. And probably a big part of why I am who I am today. So I would say that is the one thing that sticks out, being present. Social media, phones, it's so easy to just jump on a screen and kill that time with mindless scrolling. That's definitely one thing. But I also think another thing that I've seen this week through Renew is that lack of resilience that some children have. And as a parent, like I said about tipping the scales, so easy. And there's a good person on Instagram at the moment, a New Zealand guy, with emails that he gets from parents as a teacher. And we can definitely go too far with the wrapping children in cotton wool and not letting them grow and mature and experience tough times and some hardship, and because that's what shapes us, right? So we yes, shower our children with time, love, but be mindful of how we are parenting, not making things too easy and taking all pain away. Physical pain, yes, but challenges with school and not helping your children too much with homework, because what's the point if you're doing it, or friendship issues at school, or not trying hard enough at school. I've seen so many parents over the years sugarcoat things for their kids when actually there are times when it needs to be the hard truth, and you're not working hard enough. Like, why? What can you do differently next time? And like I said, with Renew this week, a young boy who I was working with yesterday, I don't usually go into the business, but wanted to yesterday, and we were at the gym. He's only 10, and one rep, I can't do that. And he's not the fittest and healthiest of boys, and lacks resilience, absolutely lacks resilience. And I just saw firsthand that he wouldn't engage with anything. One, because he's not that positive, that good, healthy behaviour hasn't been reinforced. And two, he's not been challenged enough about his resilience and his work ethic. And I set him a challenge where I was like, right, come on, jump on the bike, you and me. You do 2,000 meters, I'll do 6,000. If you beat me, I'll give you £5. Because I know that he loves money. I knew I'd beat him, and I did. I didn't want him to sort of win, because in my mind that defeats the object. He just gets £5. But he ended up doing the 2,000 meters. I went to the loo before we left and said, oh, just jump on, see what you can do while I'm going to the toilet. And he did another 600 meters. And in that moment, it kind of proved to me that, yes, we want to love and care for our children, but actually we can't make everything too easy for them, because what does that teach them about life? Life isn't easy. Jobs, work, business, it's not easy. Relationships, not easy. So I think that's two things that we get wrong as parents. Scrolling, not being present, but also not challenging our children enough. And I got hammered for saying don't praise your children, and I stand by that. In terms of winning, don't praise the outcome, because if they suddenly lose, they don't know what that feels like, and they might regress. Praise the process, praise your children's work ethic, their resilience, their friendships, their empathy, their communication skills, all the characteristics you want to see, because they might end up winning if you praise the right things. That's today's episode, and thank you for listening.